So, welcome to the 8 Minute Ramen by School of Design UPS, where conversations are saucy, flavorsome, and rich, just like a perfect bowl of ramen. So, today we have with us someone who hasn't just witnessed transformation, but has actually designed it at scale. With over 37 years of experience across the Tata Group, from shaping global transformation journeys at TCS to driving Tata Power's vision of becoming a utility of the future, he's been at the intersection of design, data, AI, and business. He has built design cultures, institutionalized design thinking, and led organizations towards an AI first mindset. We welcome you, sir, Mr. Hasit Kaji.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, sir, we'll start with our ramen ritual. So, as you can see, there are three bowls, and you'll have to select one. First, I'll shuffle it. Please, sir, please select one. So, saucy it is. If you could disrupt one legacy system in large organizations today with zero resistance, what would it be?
So I would choose the HR system in an organization for the simple reason that the HR system touches right from a prospective employee to an existing to a past employee. And the reimagination of that system, leveraging AI, would act as an inspiration for the entire organization. So that's what I would choose.
Interesting. And now we'll also move towards our core conversation. And firstly, we'll be talking about design and transformation. You have worked across decades of transformation. What really changed when design entered the conversation?
So when design enters a conversation, firstly, it brings a lot of positivity for the simple reason that we all come together, all the stakeholders, to create a change in the system, to enhance the experience, which is highly positive. And it moves the entire team towards a common outcome. So that's the change that I've always seen in every design-led initiative.
Interesting. And a lot of organizations talk about design thinking, as we know, but very few actually embed it. What does it take to truly institutionalize design?
So to truly institutionalize design, it's very important that it becomes a part of the process of developing new products, new systems. So one approach that I adopted in my life is integrated design with agile development. So the outcomes of the design in terms of features, user stories, etc., would feed it into the agile process to eventually reimagine the particular process, a particular product development. And that's how it institutionalizes. Another important factor for institutionalizing is that it needs a strong sponsor. And especially in organizations which have traditionally been in B2B segment or B2G segment, where and they are entering into the consumer space, it is not a natural way to look at design as part of their daily life. So a strong sponsorship is critical. And to support that strong sponsorship is a leader with a design background who can take the agenda forward.
Very interesting. So, sir, you built design teams within a traditionally engineering driven setup. What resistance did you face and how did you overcome it?
So I wouldn't say that I faced resistance. It was more about advertising the team about the design process. And as I just shared, the fundamental, it is important that the process of development, anything new or the reimagination imbibes design. And once that is in place, it makes life much easier. Other important aspect is the learning of design is important. So I would always precede, before embarking on a project, do a 1 week program on design thinking with hands-on, use cases, and that puts the team into the groove to then adopt it on the actual projects or initiatives.
Interesting, very interesting. In the next set of questions, we'll be looking into AI, data, and future. You have driven an AI first culture at scale. What does AI first actually look like beyond the buzzword as we know nowadays?
So AI first culture would be a reflection of how well is creativity, use of data democratized across the organization. So it's not just in a central team within one part of the organization that is adopting AI, but it is pervasive across the organization. It's also about being adaptable to change. The culture is such that change is a way of life. I think that's what an AI first culture would look like.
And how do you balance data driven decisions with human intuition in leadership?
So I've always seen that the data driven and human intuition as a leader influences your future planning, your visioning, and the ability to eventually take a bet on whatever we want to do next. So that's always a function of both your intuition, your gut feeling, as well as the data.
And for the students entering an AI powered workforce today, what do you think they are underestimating the most?
So I think in an AI world, I think the students need to thrive in uncertainty. They need to lead change, and they should feel comfortable with designing for intelligence. It is no longer about designing interfaces, designing screens, designing workflows. It is about designing for intelligence so that human effectively engages with that intelligent system. It makes the human life simpler, smarter, and is able to perform the work in a much better way.
Thank you very much. In the next section, we'll be talking about thinking and leadership, but also transdisciplinarity. At UPS, we are building a transdisciplinary ecosystem. So, how important is it for designers to understand business, technology, and systems thinking together?
I think it's extremely important. In future, I think designers would need to, by the time they graduate from UPS, they need to be savvy in the domain, which is primarily the business. It could be centered around a service-oriented business or a manufacturing product-related business. The functionality, which is about the core design principles, but going beyond that in terms of how do you design for, to ensure privacy? How do you ensure ethical use of those systems? I think design significantly contributes to that. And the effective use of data to reimagine. So I think it's a blend of all these three areas. And it would be great if we start adopting a competency framework which consists of domain, functional, and behavior competencies. Because I think behavior going forward is going to play a far greater role if we have to see designers to be contributing to the change in wherever they are.
Thank you. The answer was so interesting that I just lost where I was. So, you have worked with transdisciplinary teams. What separates just a team from a truly collaborative system?
So I've seen that collaborative systems, when well oiled, become the culture of the organization. And the team is an instance of that collaborative system. So the collaborative system eventually fosters multidisciplinary teams. And I think that's really takes the organization towards a path of continuous innovation.
Interesting. Thank you. And if design becomes industry agnostic, what does the identity of a designer look like in the future?
So the identity of a designer in the future should be perpetually adaptable and to be agnostic across industries. I think there are three areas which and a designer can choose one of them. It is for designing intelligent interactions. I'm not using the word interface, I'm using the word interactions. Intelligent experiences and intelligent products. I think if we look at these three and if we can imagine if these three becomes future majors, I think they can fit into any industry.
In the next segment, we'll be looking into leadership and legacy. So, from TCS to Tata Power, your journey spans scale and complexity. What leadership mindset helped you navigate both?
So if I reflect back, I think there were three leadership mindset that had a big impact. One is customer is greater than company, is greater than team, is greater than you. The second was about experiencing certainty. The belief in experience certainty, which means it's about experience results. It's about say-do ratio. And we should strive that the say-do ratio is close to 100%. It's about experiencing thought leadership and it's about experiencing partnership. So that's the three dimensions of experience certainty. And the third was about realizing your potential, whether at workplace or outside. The ability to, for example, run a marathon is always a potential that you don't realize. So these were the three things that really shaped the ship.
So, now we enter to our rapid fire round. So, future of design, one word.
I would say existential.
AI, threat or amplifier?
It's a friend.
One skill every young designer must build.
Adaptability.
One mistake in digital transformation.
I think underestimating the effort it takes for adoption and change management.
Design or data, what wins?
They are friends.
One idea or book that shaped you.
It's a Marcus Buckingham book, First Break All the Rules.
Advice to your 25-year-old self.
Keep raising the bar, but be happy and take care of your health.
So now we move to the closing question. If you had to design the next generation of organizations from scratch, what's the one principle you would build it on?
Adaptability and sustainability.
Okay, that was incredibly insightful, sir. From design-led transformation to building AI-first cultures, this conversation truly lived up to being rich and insightful. Thank you, Mr. Kaji, for joining us on our 8-Minute Ramen.
Thank you.
It was
a
nice
pleasure
talking
talking to you.
Yeah.